Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I can't tell you how excited I am to be on right now. It's been a couple of weeks of excitement, getting prepared, and I've done a lot of things in my life, but this has got to be close to the top.
Thank you, and Reader's Magnet, and thank you, John, for putting this forth and taking the chance on us authors in presenting this out to the world.
I've enjoyed this immensely, Joanne.
Ellie, so have I. Thank you for who you are, and thank you, Reader's Magnet. You all are beautiful, and you've worked so very hard, and we are blessed.
We are.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers. We thank Reader's Magnet and everybody that's involved. I love Reader's Magnet. They say, we share your stories with the world.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you. And remember, I am Jennifer RABAGO-ROMAN, just in case you haven't seen me. Good afternoon, and I appreciate you taking the time to join me today to see and come my book, Remembering My Real Life. Well, as you know, I am talking about poetry, just in case. As you know, poetry comes from, many different kinds. It has many different styles and techniques. And just as you know, as long as the poetry tells a story, that's all that matters. So, and as there's different types, but today I'm going to tell you, I think I see something in my, excuse me. Oh, and I forgot to turn on my fan because I will get hot. One second, please. Oh, not a good thing. Okay. So, as we know, poetry can consist of many different things. But as we know, mood isn't only what makes us smile or laugh out loud. Generally, it's related to an external thing, such as a situation, or place, or people, or internal thoughts. Our life story determines our mood. What's wonderful for one person can be extremely horrifying for another person. Each person is made up of a set of experiences, lessons, and memories that they have collected throughout their lifetime. What's my experiences is mine. What's your experiences is yours. This is what we call a life story. Each of these experiences and lessons and memories are accompanied by emotions. Those specific emotions activate when we face circumstances that evoke them. Therefore, a specific incident in and of itself doesn't influence our mood. What does affect is our mental perception of it, with all the emotional burden that implies. Creating the perfect environment at your home or your office is fundamental for you to start thriving, to be happier, to be more focused, and to be more relaxed. In fact, our environment can affect our mood and productivity and our creativity. Beautiful surroundings can make us much more happier and more creative and more productive. Emotions and moods can be caused by many reasons. Think about it. What kind of a personality do you have? Each and every one of us has a completely different personality. Think about it, right? God knows I have a different personality from my husband. I know I have a different personality from my friends, and I love them for that, because if not, we wouldn't get along. So as individuals, we must have built-in tendencies to experience certain moods and emotions more frequently than others do. We also differ in how intensely we experience the same emotion. While those who are effectively intense experience good and bad emotions more deeply. Sometimes it can be the day of the week and the time of the day, believe it or not. Do you believe in that? I sure do. I used to see people experience it all the time. Do you see people experience it when you go to work? Fairgoer 1410 says, do you believe star signs can affect someone's personality? Fairgoer 1410, as a matter of fact, I do. The reason why is because I'm a big sign. I'm a big person when it comes to the signs, especially because I'm a Sagittarius. I believe in those things, and I read the signs quite a bit. So if you are too, Fairgoer 1410, you can go to the Astro Brothers. They're fantastic. Okay, so back to the day of the week. You will have guessed by now that people tend to be their worst moods early in the week. Have you noticed that? And they tend, excuse me, and in their best moods at the late of the week. Monday morning is therefore not their best time to reveal bad news ever, or to ask someone for a favor. Don't ever do that, because they will never do it. Think about it. Have you ever gone to somebody and asked them for a favor on a Monday morning? I guarantee you they'll say no. Don't ever do it. Don't do it. Okay. The weather, that's another thing. Have you heard of illusory correlation? It is the tendency of people to associate two events when in reality there is no connection. Many people think so, but the weather has little influence on our mood. It does, actually. You might not think so, but it does, because the weather can actually feel a little down sometimes. Think about how the weather makes you feel sometimes. Does it make you feel happy or does it make you feel down? Does it make you want to just run outside? No. Makes you feel a little down sometimes. Yeah. Makes you just want to curl up in bed? Sure. Why not? Okay. Stress. Oh my gosh. What that I think everybody has experienced. I think we all experience this, from a spouse, from work, from family, from friends, but more so from where? I think everybody knows this. From work, and from financial problems, right? Here they come. Oh, what are they? Bills. Oh my gosh, there comes another one. Another bill. Bills come every month and they never go away. Have you heard? Yeah. Stress can affect our moods and emotions so negatively that it's so horrible. This effects can be built up over time, and the constant levels of stress can worsen our moods and worsen so much. But you have to make sure that you do take care of yourself when it comes, so that stress does not get built up, because then you get those big balls up here. They can get here in your shoulders, and they can rise all the way up here in your neck. So ladies, even gentlemen, you guys, you know what you can do? You can go on Groupon and you can get a massage, or even do it together. You can do it to each other. But first, you could take a relaxing hot bath together. Ooh, yes, you can, if you like to. Or, some of you guys might not have a big enough tub. Set each other a tub for each other with some lavender inside, and some of that other stuff that you put in, so that you can relax and decompose, to let that stress away. And then maybe give each other a massage if you can. But if your hands can't handle it, go to Groupon for your city and you can find a massage. You'd be quite surprised how inexpensive a massage can be. You can do it individually or as a couple, and they are fantastic. I tell you, I am a huge for getting them, because they are great and they're fantastic way of decomposing and getting rid of stress in your body. So the next thing would be social activities. For most of us, social activities increase positive mood and have little or no effect on negative mood. Positive mood seeks out social activities, physical, informal, and Epicurean activities are more strongly and related to positive moods than formal and sedentary events. Excuse me. James says, what great advice. You're welcome. I totally appreciate it. So here is a big one, everybody. Sleep. Oh. Now, this is a huge one. Most of you out there definitely do not get enough sleep. And I can swear up and down, I'm sure you don't. As I've read and done a lot of research on sleep, the majority of sleep people are supposed to be from 7 to 9 hours a night. And if you don't, you are more susceptible to getting cognitive problems down the road as you age. So I would definitely suggest that you definitely get enough sleep. So I bet that sleep is by far, excuse me, is by far your favorite thing to do. I'm sure you would love to do it, but you just think to yourself, I don't have enough time. But you know what? You need to make enough time because you need it and you deserve it. So, indeed, sleep quality does affect your mood. So if you don't get enough of it, you're going to have a bad attitude. So please get enough sleep, because if not, then you're going to have a bad mood and you're going to take it out on your spouse, on your coworkers, on your friends, on your parents, or whoever you live with, your siblings, anybody, or when you go to school, whoever you're around. So if you are tired and you're more likely to feel fatigued, anger, or hostility, and therefore it can impair decision making and make it difficult to control emotions. So please get enough sleep for everybody around you so you don't take your hostility out on them, but especially more for yourself. That, please, thank you. This is a big one too. Exercise. Another favorite. No. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of you don't. It should be. In fact, exercise enhances our positive mood. This is especially good for depressed people. What? How you say? Yeah, well, because if depressed people exercise, it increases their endorphins and they become happier. That's why. When it comes to women, excuse me, women are more emotionally expressive than men are. Women, we sure wish men were, you know, they experience them more intensely and hold on to emotions longer than men. They display more frequent expressions on positive and negative emotions, except anger. Oh my, they really let anger out. Boy, do they. I can tell you from experience. It's such a bad thing. This is because men are taught to be tough and brave, like back in the old days. Women are taught to be social and nurturing, you know, so they show more, excuse me, one moment. Thank you. So they show more positive moods. They're more polite. They're more daunting. They're more, hi, how can I help you? You know, they're more sweet. They're more delightful. Like in the old days, that's how they are. That's if you meet like somebody like me. Now, if you meet somebody like, oh, somebody has a question. Let's see. James has a question, says, do you think I need to seek medical advice if I have trouble sleeping, or can I still correct that without medication? Okay, James. Well, that's a great question. You can try a couple natural ways first that I know of. Okay, you can try some melatonin, some 5 milligrams, which is very natural. Okay, and you can try burning some lavender oil, and you can also try drinking some chamomile tea or some sleepy time tea. If you do all three of those in combination, oh, and if you also buy some curtains that are blackout curtains, if you do all of those things, and you also must make sure that your bedroom is at a very cool temperature. With those things, that should help you sleep better at night, all naturally. If that doesn't help you to get better sleep naturally, then do that for about maybe excuse me, and that doesn't help you for about a week, then I would advise you to seek some medical treatment. Does anybody else have a question out there? No? Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, James. I appreciate your comment. Okay, so where was I? Right. It was right here. Right. Okay. So no matter where we are, or we're deeply shaped by our environments, whether it's an office or a living room, different settings can produce different responses. I thought something came up. I apologize. A wide range of environmental factors can affect the way we react to a space, from noisy air conditioners, those big ones that go into the wall. Oh my gosh, so noisy. They can affect your mood, and forget it. Or the color of a wall, they can make you very, very, So everyone has their own tastes and preferences. So everyone will respond to a setting in their own way. However, researchers have noticed that definite trends across countries and cultures, and some environments consistently produce certain mental and emotional effects. Before you decide to repaint your dining room, excuse me, your dining room walls, or install new company signage, make sure you understand what makes environments stressful and what makes them stress-free. Our environments have the power to make us experience a wide variety of emotions. Some can make us feel overwhelming or even depressing, while others can cultivate energy and inspiration, like that help us to write, like poetry. Environments can have a direct effect on our moods, and we want to stay happy and upbeat and keep that going on and on and on. We want to keep it. What do we say it when we want to do it to somebody? I say it always to somebody in line. Please keep it oh gosh, what did I say? When person is behind me in line and I put them in and I say, oh no, go ahead. I don't mind. You can go in front of me. Please be sure to keep it forward. No, not that. Somebody has to know this saying. Come on. Just be sure to pay it forward. Pay it forward. If every single person in the USA was to pay it forward, just like in the movie was there, this world, the United States would be such a greater, more such a peaceful place instead of all this hate and greed. It would be so much a happier place to live. Right? Yes. But unfortunately, it's all about politics, too much money, selfishness. And instead, all of us who are just trying to get by and make a difference in the world, like me, we're out. We were not noticed. So I just want to let you know about poetry and how it resides and how everything makes a difference because it comes from other people and how they make a difference by how they treat me, by environment, by gender, by the environment, by people I meet, by if I exercise, by anything. Do you get it now? Yeah. So let me go ahead and finish. So, right. So I was there. So make sure you understand that what makes environments stressful and what makes them stress-free. Our environments have the power to make us experience a wide variety of emotions. Some feel overwhelming while others are depressing others or cultivating energy or inspiration. Environments can have a direct effect on our moods. Although these reactions aren't always predictable, everyone will respond in different environments. No two people will have the same preference at all. These predetermined preferences include factors such as cultural background, occupation and professional circumstances, artistic and cultural influences, social status. Wow, that's a big one. Personality, education, personal circumstances, and experiences. Our cultural and emotional and social backgrounds influence the way we react to different environments. And much of the taste is determined by our experiences. However, some trends prevail across time and place. Wow. That's a big thought. Doesn't that come from like a movie or something? It makes me think that. It was like a show with a really good looking actor. And he said that from somewhere. You could get into this big ball and he could go into back and forward into time and space. Could you imagine that? I wish I could go back to when I was 23. Think about it. Would you love to go back in time so that you could change, like, something negative into a positive? I'm sure we all could, for sure. Certain environments tend to evoke certain responses despite a person's background. In particular, environments affect us in the ways that we interact, our behavior, and our emotions. They affect social interactions. Environments can either facilitate or discourage social interactions. These spaces are designed to encourage conversation, and community are often seen as inviting, like being cheerful and secure, because that's how we want to be. We should be secure. These settings are closed off and or have a lack of seating, can stifle social interactions. Two, they can have influenced behavior and motivation. Different environments affect our behavior and motivation to act. For example, a crowded, cluttered storage room will invite employees to return items hazardly and carelessly. In contrast, a clean room with adequate storage encourages employees to take the time to put things away properly. God knows that I'm definitely like that, because if I don't put things properly away, I hate a mess, because then I can't find them. Do you like to work in a clean environment? I'm sure you do, because then if everything has its place and it's orderly, you'll know where it is and you can go back to it, right? You're A-okay then. Yes. So, shape and moods and emotions, for sure. Most obviously, our environments can influence our moods. Different settings can evoke different emotional responses. For example, recent research, I apologize. Recent research indicates that rooms with bright light, either are artificial or natural, can bring off like a laughter if somebody were to experience it. So I wanted to take this time to see if anybody had any questions. No? Okay. Oh, great. Well, I have a question here. So Jesse says, I understand that environment plays an important role on someone's personality. What are your thoughts on someone's personality is different to the environment they grow up with? Huh. Well, Jesse, I would believe that the person would act like the environment. So there's your answer. Does anybody else have a question? Okay, so along with not just the environment, but along with this, with the mood and everything that I was talking about, I also wanted to say with this in correlation that the moods and the feelings that we get from this, that when a poet feels a certain way, that is when they pick up their pad and they have a certain feeling. That is when they take the time to pick up their pad and write something. That is how they get that inspiration, because they feel a way. Or when they are in a perfect environment and they see something, they pick up their pad again and they write about that perfect environment. Okay? Or if a poet is stressed, they pick up their pad and they write about it. Again, if a poet is experiencing bad weather, they'll go ahead and pick up and write about it. Because again, what did I say in the beginning? As long as the poem tells a story, that's all that matters. So, as long each and everything, they're all telling a story. Each and every one of these, they are a factor to what a poem can be composed from. Environmental problems, personality, even personality can be composed as a part of a poem in some aspect. You can break it down because it's what is part of a person, because you can write a poem about a person, like your friend or your spouse or yourself or your mother who you love dearly, or your father who you love dearly, or your grandfather or your Oma who you love and you miss so much because she's passed on, so. Or you could write about, stress. Oh my gosh, the stress is killing me out. Stress. I have been so stressed today. I don't know what to do. Can please, God, help me with something. Stress can be the name of a poem. Believe it or not. Anything can be the name. Oh, here. Fairgoer 1412 has a question. They state, how do you provide feedback to someone else's work who has not published a single book just yet, that there's wrong with their work? That's an interesting question. Well, what you have to do is you have to look at the book, and you have to, how can I answer that? You have to look at the book, and you have to give feedback as a, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to give feedback as a, I'm trying to think, like as you're a juror, as you're reasonable, as a fair and reasonable, feedback, as you're fair and reasonable person. You have to make sure that you give your honest truth, of course. Don't badger the person, of course. We don't want you to do that. We do want you to be honest. We do want you not to be harsh. We do want some criticism, but we don't want you to be totally negative, because then you will really hurt the author's feelings. So just try to be positive, but don't be that critical. I hope that I could answer your question in that way. Right. Be honest, but in a constructive way. Correct. Exactly. Honest, but in a constructive way. Exactly. Does anybody else have any questions? No? Okay. So, oopsie. So anything a poet can write about, especially me. Especially when it comes to any kind of a topic. I could write about anything. I love poetry. I could write practically just about anything. I could write about butterflies. Butterflies are so beautiful. I'm sure everybody can agree. Whoops, I apologize. That was the reason why I wore this shirt today, because it's what I'm going to talk about like now and afterwards. That was the reason why I wore this shirt, because it's a great topic to talk about, because poetry can consist of whatever is in the poet's mind. It can be anything. Oh, Fairgoer 1412 has a question. Did I ever receive negative feedback about your book? If yes, how did I deal with it? If no, how did you think you'll deal with it if you receive one? Well, Fairgoer 1412, I did not receive any negative feedback, which I hope I don't receive. I think that would crush me deeply. I have only gotten positive feedback, which is very good for me. And I've only gotten positive ratings on my book, which is fantastic. And I appreciate every great comment that I get about my book. I would hope that any comment that I do get, that it would be honest, but constructive, like I said to you. So, yes. But no, I have not gotten any negative. But thank you for the question. Is there any other questions? No? Okay. So, let me see. Well, a poet, depend. Oh, okay. Well, Jesse wants me to talk about butterflies. Okay, Jesse. Well, butterflies initially, in case most people don't know, they start from little tiny, what are they called? Caterpillars. And there are a variety of caterpillars is how they come to exist. So, and there's a variety and totally different kinds of caterpillars. So that is how beautiful butterflies come to cease to exist. And when I remember when I was a little girl, that my sister and I, we would go all the way down the street, because the street that we used to live on, we would go down all the way down our street and around the little corner where our friends lived, but it was just my sister and I, and we liked to play outside, and we would, and in the dirt, because that's where the caterpillars were, we would play in the dirt, and because that's where the caterpillars love to be, and we would play in the dirt, and we would find the most prettiest caterpillars. And the ones that were rare in Maryland and Adelphi, in the suburbs of Adelphi, they were real pretty lime green. They were. I wish I had the color green, little, one of these to show you the color it was, but I don't. I'm sorry. And they were real fuzzy. They were really long. They were about this long. They were about an inch long, and they were real, real fuzzy. And they were really fun to play with. And my sister and I, we would both have one on one finger, and then we would have on another finger. And we'd say, aren't they pretty? They're so fuzzy. And we just let them walk on our fingers, and they would go like all the way up on our arms so slowly. And they were really cute. And then finally, we'd put them back down. And eventually, when they would grow, when they would go back to hibernation, and then come the time when they would change and grow into the butterflies at their time, they would be so beautiful, and they would be so gorgeous that they would be all these different colors. They would be from purple ones, like to the color I'm wearing. They would be these really, really pretty light purple, to these really pretty, the really ones that I like. They're like orange and red with the black, with a strip of yellow. Those are my favorite. And then the ones like my mom likes, she loves the ones that are black also, that have well, I'm sorry. You're saying now, how do I compare the life cycle of a butterfly to being an author? I apologize. Well, I didn't know you actually, I didn't actually know you wanted, I just thought you wanted like a story, like the, how do I compare the life cycle of a butterfly to being an author? Well, I apologize. Well, I don't really. I can write about butterflies because I know the life cycle of one. I can write about them. It's just, I know how they are, and that there's many different kinds of them. I know there's many different colors of them, and they're very, very beautiful. Okay. I apologize, Jesse. Thank you. I apologize. I'm glad you enjoyed the story. Because being an author, when you're an author, you tend to just know a lot. I've done a lot of research because I do have a master's degree. I apologize for that. And I just knew all of that already about butterflies, because I have a love for butterflies. So, and I've been an author, you know, practically, and I've been writing poetry ever since I was little, you know, so that's the reason why. And a true poet such as myself, because I've been writing since I was very young, a true poet can write about anything. That's why I say I can write basically about anything. So if you were to tell me, write a poem about a topic, I guarantee if you tell me, Jennifer, write a poem about this, I guarantee you I could write a poem about it and have it ready for you by the next session. Put it that way, because that's how good I am. So if you give me a topic, Jesse, I guarantee I would have one of the most best phenomenal poems for you by the time I have my next session. And I have one back to back today. So if you like a topic very much that you love, yes, of course, I'd be happy to do that for you. So, and that's the reason why I went through, you know, the list that I went through today. When somebody is feeling, you know, certain ways or put in different circumstances, that is how the person feels. That is how they, that is how the person creates. It's the same thing when it comes to a poem. It's the same thing when it comes to, anybody. I'm sure it's the same thing when it comes to you, when it comes to when you go to work, right? I'm sure you work better when you're working in a positive environment. Am I correct? Yes, right? Yes. I'm sure I'm correct about you. So I would love to if you want me to. If not, it's okay. But nonetheless, that's why I say environments, people, anything can be talked about. It's the same thing like with my next topic we're going to talk about. There's different times, but I don't want to get into that. I don't want to give away what my next topic is going to be for my next session. Does anybody else have any questions? No? Okay. Well, I would just like to thank everybody for coming to attend my session today. If you like, you can purchase my book at Amazon.com. And if you like, you can, of course, come and see me again. I will be here right behind this session. And I would love to see you then. Thank you for coming and have a wonderful day. And I'll see you right back here. Have a wonderful day and goodbye.